Shout out to everybody who's rocking with us. First and foremost, I love the fact that you all have never asked me in the comments to make a post about Kendrick Lamar and Drake. I think the dear heavens, I've never had to make a post or a video about Cat Williams, Club Shay Shay, ignorance at its best. And I'm not just naming them. It's a whole lot of different things. I've never had to cover a Taylor Swift story and Travis Kelce. Are they together? Aren't they? Who gives a shit? Honestly, who really cares? You know? And it's just the pettiness of people, and people are attracted to drama. And I'm not here for any of that. I'm only here to talk about the goofiness in the world of sports: NFL, NBA, NCAA football, and basketball. That's it. With logical questions. So thank you all. Thank you all very much. And just like that, we're going to hop back into it. We just got done talking about dumbass Brian Kelly with brainworms. Talking about how at LSU he's not into buying players or buying a football. Man, that was just stupid. He's out here virtue signaling. Then we talked about the Suns firing Frank Vogel, how he was in a no-win situation with older, aging superstars like Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal. He's got a young stud in Devin Booker. They couldn't figure out how to make it work, so they got rid of him. And now we're going to jump back into the association. Going to talk some off-the-court basketball. And Glen Big Baby Davis, he's serving 40 months in an NBA insurance scam. So this is for 40 months in federal prison. Now, this is two kind of different places I went with this, because once I lay it out for you, then you'll see why we did that. Now, CBS Sports, Mr. Matt Geegan, he said in addition to those 40 months, Davis also received 3 years of supervised release. Alex Pruitt, now he reported that on Thursday. Davis was first convicted in November of 2023, with over a dozen players accused of getting doctors and dentists to create fraudulent invoices that were submitted for reimbursement for the league supplemental insurance plan. Again, that is shady as hell. Davis is not the first former Celtic player to receive prison time for the healthcare scheme. Terrence Williams, T-Will, because he played at Louisville, was sentenced to 10 years last August, while Tony Allen and Sebastian Telfair were among the 18 retired players charged. Sebastian Telfair was Rick Pitino's mistake. And I will give you just a second synopsis, because at the time, Tubby Smith was in Kentucky. Rick Pitino was in Louisville. And Rick kept trying to pump everybody up about Sebastian Telfair. However, Rajon Rondo wanted to play at Louisville, because Rajon Rondo is from Louisville, but he went to Oak Hill Academy. And then when Louisville passed on Rajon Rondo and took Sebastian Telfair, well, look how that turned out. I think he played a handful of games to the point where I don't know what Sebastian Telfair ended up doing. But I know about Rajon Rondo and what Rondo did and how Rondo's a champion. Yeah, that's how that went. However, again, just reading this on face value, it kind of takes some things out of here. Like, okay, so he got 40 months. And it's already, to me, I'll just keep reading. That way I can go ahead and paint the picture more vividly. Davis was found guilty of healthcare fraud, wire fraud, conspiracy to make false statements, and conspiracy to commit healthcare and wire fraud. Jesus. As a result of those charges, the former NBA power forward was facing up to 20 years in prison. Hmm. Hmm. So for his participation in the scheme, he was facing 20 years in prison, federal prison. Now, the scheme lasted for at least 4 years. These players would submit false claims for dental services and other medical procedures that never took place. This has got snitch vibes all over it. I'm sorry. You facing double dimes in federal prison where you got to serve 75% of that time, and you walk out of there with 40 months? Come on, man. Who you snitch on, bro? Who you snitch on? If they even implicated you in this, and like I said, you got sentenced in November. You got sentenced in November. And all of what they laid out for you, they talking about you was facing 20 years. You facing the dub. And you walk out of there with 4 months? 40 months. And y'all don't think he told on nobody? Come on now. Over the years, Davis submitted a grand total of $132,000 worth of claims. The former Boston Celtics draft pick stated that he received $27,200 worth of dental work performed in October of 2019. However, authorities determined that Davis was actually in Las Vegas and later flew to Paris on that same day. $32,000. Come on, bro. $32,000. $132,000. My bad. 130. How much money did he make in his career? This is all reading like money issues. Like, these guys, for some reason, were having money issues and they banded together to do this. Former NBA Terrence Williams and Will Bynum also convicted in the case. Williams was the ringleader, I doubt that, received a 10-year prison sentence, while Bynum received an 18-month prison sentence. Somebody ratting. Out of all of these dudes, he got the most time because they said that he was a ringleader. Nah. Nah, somebody snitched on him. Somebody snitched on homie. Because if me and you, if we the first two guys that we get named in the indictment, but I walk out of there with 10 years in federal prison, and you come out on the deal in 18 months, somebody's cooperating. Again, this to me has snitch vibes written all over it. How is Terrence Williams the ringleader? A player who only played in 2002, 72 games. 2010, I'm sorry, he played 72 games. After that, he bounced around the league up to 2013. They say that this took place in 2017. Here's a guy who wasn't an impact player. And he, like I said, he bounced around the league until 2013. But in the NBA, under the NBA Player Association, you would have to have played 3 years and retired from the league to hit the NBA Supplemental Insurance Policy Program. So if he was out of the league in 2013, he would have had to retire immediately, because usually when guys, they pretty much don't make it in the NBA, they try and go overseas and play ball. And if that didn't work out where they go overseas and play ball, you're looking at about 2015, 2016 max. He files for his retirement, and then he starts to go from doctor to doctor, recruiting doctors. Really? And I say this affectionately because being in a city where we knew Terrence Williams, I don't see that kind of acumen on him. I just don't. Not saying he's not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but what I'm saying is that is elaborate. That's collective. How would he know to do this and turn that in? So again, not sitting here doubting Matt Geegan from CBS Sports, but also I had to go ahead and pull the affidavit because that is public record on Access. The reason this is shaky to me is because Williams was out of the league 2 years before Davis. And again, let me get this straight. Immediately after leaving the league, you get into the insurance scammer mode, not knowing how things would work out. Then you assemble the Scammer Avengers. Scammer Avengers, assemble! Iron Man! And we're off to the races. Come on, man. That sounds like the dumbest shit that you ever heard. If it doesn't make sense to me, it doesn't make sense to you. Williams pled guilty to wire fraud, conspiracy to commit healthcare fraud, plus aggravated identity theft. This is all from the Department of Justice. Again, remember when I told you about the PDF? And you can pull the PDF and look at that Department of Justice. Again, we go where other sports shows don't. We talk about different things and we get right down into what's on paper. Because we can all sit here and say, well, I think that's one thing. But if it's on paper, it's concrete. We can always have that debate because it's on paper. So per the Justice Department, this went on from 2017 to 2021. So by that time, he would have been 4 years out of the league. Because remember, Terrence Williams would from 2009, 2010, all the way up to 2013 was his last year in the NBA. So he would have had to retire somewhere around 2015, 2016. Because remember, per the NBA and the rules of the the players union, you once you retire, you satisfied that 3 years in the NBA. Now you retired. Now you're with supplemental insurance. So if this didn't take place until 2017, that would be 4 years. So he would have had to retire in 2016. Now, how did he bump into all of these guys? I don't know. Because I know players, but at the expense that the media and other people have crafted this is that he started recruiting guys. And he started recruiting doctors and dentists. And again, that from a person who's seen T. Will in person, a person who talked to him, I don't think that dude had the acumen to pull that off. Again, Williams was out of the league 4 years up until that point. Per the DOJ, Williams was recruiting doctors and dentists and players, stealing IDs. What? That's what I don't understand was that per the Department of Justice, the aggravated identity theft. So whose identity did he steal? Because the way that the mainstream media paints this up is that, this was just a scam to, enrich themselves by turning in false claims and stuff like that. That's no different from Colombia, which used to turn in fake Medicare claims and got them sued back in 2000, which was the biggest Medicare fraud in this country. And Rick Scott, who is now somehow the governor of Florida, he oversaw all of that. He oversaw all of that, and he didn't serve 1 day in prison. And we're talking about billions of dollars that was stolen by him and his company from the federal government, and he didn't serve 1 day in prison. But you're telling me that a player who nobody really remembers from 2009 to 2013, who's bounced around the NBA, had time not only to go from doctor to doctor and dentist to dentist and bribe them, but also conspired to build a bigger network to enrich every player and get a cut and a kickback off of what they were able to go ahead and bill and get reimbursed by the NBA. $5 million. $5 million isn't even a rookie deal. Right here it says that Glen Big Baby Davis only got $132,000 out of the whole thing. And if it was so elaborate and it was so sprawling, $5 million and different players. And the fall guy is a dude you never heard of. Only reason that I know of T. Will or Terrence Williams was that he played at Louisville. And pretty much I was in the close proximity of this dude. So that's the only way I know about him. But this has snitch vibes all over it. And it has a lot of head shaking like, that guy? Really? Honestly. Not taking shots at his, like I said, not taking shots at his mental acumen. But I'm just like, y'all told on this guy. And the real dudes who orchestrated this somehow escaped prosecution. And it just goes to show you a two-tiered justice system because, yes, the NBA is a business. And stealing from the NBA, and especially the healthcare industry, is wrong. I'm not sitting here trying to absolve anybody of anything. Yes, these people should be prosecuted. But what I'm sitting here saying is for $5 million in 4 years, that's not a lot of money, especially in this NBA climate where you've got guys like LeBron James on a 3-year deal getting $90 million. And then Jenny Buss going on record saying she will pay him $156 million, maxing out, to keep him in LA for 2 years. So when it comes down to looking at the totality of what went on, I have more questions. It's more questions than answers. It isn't this good guy right off into the sunset. We did our jobs. We put the bad guys behind bars. That's cartoonish. That's buffoonery. That's half-wit mentality. And that's one of those veneer stories like, wait a minute, whoa. Because if it didn't make sense to you, it really didn't make sense to me. And I was sitting here reading you verbatim from not only the DOJ transcript, but also CBS's account of everything that was going on. The ringleader is a guy, the ringleader is a dude who nobody remembers, who was out of the league in 2013. His official retirement had to be in 2015, 2016 for him to be eligible to even start scamming. Because per the DOJ, this happened from 2017 up until 2021. But in that time frame, he recruited doctors and dentists in California and built a vast network of former players. Sebastian Telfair, I can understand him because he's from Louisville. And then some other guy, some other unknown dudes, to keep going and getting these false invoices to submit them for reimbursement. Doesn't tell you how much money that Terrence Williams actually got out of the deal. And if Big Baby was the last guy to flip, he only got $132,000. That was reported. And that's the money that they're reporting for him. So you have to go ahead and consider that as that was his lump sum of doing it. And he got 40 months out of it. He got 40 months out of it. And the guy who originally they caught with Terrence Williams, he only got 18 months. And Terrence Williams did 10 years. Sebastian Telfair and all them, they did 18 months. So like I said, this thing has snitch vibes all over it. And I think that T. Will actually staying down, because he even pled guilty to it. So he took the rap. But I think it's more than what is out there. It has to be. This just can't be it. But like I said, time will tell. This is Big Vern at App Stupid. We'll be back. We got a lot more show to go. We got a lot more show.